Welcome to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Back with us, Laurie Whitwell from the Athletic. Great to have you back. Last time we spoke, one of the things we spoke about was Trippier. Possible signing. It looked as though the deal was going to be done at some point, whether in the January or this summer. Is that deal still being talked about, Laurie?
Well, I think that how close it got in January and the fact that there were talks, you know, and the fact that the only thing that really stopped it was the FA ban. You know, maybe there was other hurdles to overcome, but I think the FA ban was a big thing that knocked it back. And United do want to strengthen, you know, in a right-back area. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is basically the only guy they've got there that they keep playing, keep trusting in. Could they bring in another right-back that's a bit more attack-minded? Could they bring in another right-back that is more established, you know, experienced? Wan-Bissaka could learn off Kieran Trippier, for example. So Kieran Trippier ticks a lot of boxes, and I would expect that to be explored again in the summer.
So Trippier, right-back, backup for Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, top defender, not so good going forward. Maybe that's the way the team sets up. So Trippier would be like, some would say, short term, 2 or 3 years, till Wan-Bissaka gets experience. Is that how the club would look at bringing Trippier in, and the reason why? I
think so, yeah. So it's somebody that isn't a direct... They'll be in competition, obviously, but it's not somebody that could eventually take Wan-Bissaka's long-term place. They would like Wan-Bissaka to continue to grow. You know, you're totally right, Tony, in terms of what he's providing in an attacking sense. He's getting better, though. He has scored a couple of goals this season. He's putting more crosses in, so that is something they're working on with him. But if you've got a guy there who's naturally that way, could he play in certain matches where Wan-Bissaka's not best suited? You've seen the way that Luke Shaw's progressed this season with Alex Telles as competition. That's what they're trying to get in all areas of the pitch.
Is there a fee been discussed anywhere?
I don't know about that, but I think he's got a year left on his contract with Atletico Madrid, so obviously that's more appealing. Yeah. Does he want to come back to England? Obviously, he spent his whole career in this country before going to Atletico Madrid, which I think was a brave move for him. He's in the England squad. He's in the mix there. You know, what will happen at the Euros will depend, I suppose, on, you know, how much United might have to spend. And obviously, we don't know. The whole summer, you know, could hinge on different moves going ahead or not, and then they might have to reevaluate things.
So we could definitely say with Kieran Trippier, he is a target to help Wan-Bissaka.
I think so. Yeah.
That's nailed on by the sound of it, because me and you have said it.
Well, there we go, Tony. I mean, you're
we're the experts,
things, right? Yeah.
We're the experts. Now, another possible transfer in the market. I'm not saying we're going to buy him. Harry Kane. He's turned round. I want to move on. If we're not in the Champions League, I want to win trophies. Are Manchester United really, realistically, in the hunt if Kane goes up and puts in a transfer request?
Well, so I suppose that's the big thing. I mean, we did the story on The Athletic where this week Jack Pitt-Brooke, my colleague, and Oliver Kay wrote about Harry Kane having a desire to leave Tottenham Hotspur this summer if they didn't qualify for the Champions League. That's easier said than done when you've got 3 years left on your contract and your chairman is Daniel Levy, who, as Manchester United know, is a notorious negotiator. You don't have to go to Dimitar Berbatov, Michael Carrick, various others. But if Harry Kane made it very clear that he wanted to leave Tottenham, United would be in the mix for him. I think they would explore it. They would have a look at the financials involved. It would cost an awful lot of money. He's 28. They'd have to weigh all that up. But he's an elite striker. He's scored goals regularly for Tottenham Hotspur, you know, for about 5, 6, 7 years. He scored all kinds of goals. He's developing his game. We saw at Old Trafford the way that he can pick a pass as well as pick a finish. He's on the list. Erling Haaland for me is the number 1, and for United, I believe, is the number 1. Harry Kane is number 2 on the list.
Now, moving on, we've got some contracts need signing. We've got some players. Are they leaving? And the main player, is he leaving? Is he staying? There's a contract on the table. Paul Pogba. It just keeps going on and on and on. Now, we're getting to the end of the season here, Laurie. It has to be sorted out. What's the word on this contract being signed? Is it being offered? Is it being rejected? What's going on, Laurie?
I don't think there's actually been formal talks yet with Paul Pogba and a new contract. I could be wrong. I think they've explored it, but I don't think they've ever sat down and gone, right, here we go. This is the offer that we want to give you. The way that he performed at White Hart Lane and the way he's been performing really since, oddly, that Leipzig match where Ole came out and said he wanted to leave and it was over for him at Manchester United, he's been phenomenal. And, the performances that have been put in, you're thinking United absolutely have to offer him a new contract, because if they can keep him, he can really, he's meshing with Bruno Fernandes well, Rashford, Greenwood. He seems to have a good relationship. He's bubbly around the place. You speak to the players, they love him as a guy. Obviously, from his perspective, he might think, well, actually, it's worth my while to enter my final year of my contract at Manchester United and see perhaps what next summer brings. Is this the right time to move this summer, where maybe I won't get, as a free agent, you can obviously command much higher salary. David De Gea did that. He entered the last year of his contract and then got an enormous salary out of Manchester United. So that's an alternative possibility as well. So I think all options are available at the moment. And it shifts as well. I've done a piece previously where I said, okay, United need to sell him this summer or he's going to leave on a free. I think it keeps shifting. And I wonder if Paul Pogba was thinking, actually, Manchester United might be a good place to continue my career. Continue
his career? Does Solskjaer want him?
I think Solskjaer, it changes.
That's the big thing.
If Paul Pogba plays like this and can continue to play like that, Solskjaer will 100% want him in the building, because he's a bit of a glue in the dressing room. He speaks a lot of different languages. He's able to communicate with players at the top of the game, younger players, and Solskjaer would want that in the dressing room. It's just whether or not it's got to a point with Paul Pogba whether he feels like he does want to move on and go somewhere else. But I don't know. I mean, I've said this before. I don't know what the options are. Europe's elite clubs don't have the same kind of money as they used to.
Well, talking about Solskjaer, he's got a contract on the table. Is that for him to sign in the summer? Is there a reason why it's being offered? If it is to sign in the summer, why hasn't it been offered for him to sign now?
Again, I think they'll come to that in the summer. I don't think they've actually, again, had formal talks where they're talking about, this is exactly what we're going to offer you, this is the length of the contract, these are the clauses within it. Clearly, it won't be a problem. Clearly, that will be sorted, whatever happens end of this season. United are happy with what he's doing. I think he's deserved it. From his perspective, he might want to wait until the summer. I mean, if he goes into contract negotiations with a Europa League in his basket, in his bag, in his luggage, don't know why he's got a basket, and United finishing second in a comfortable fashion, he's in a stronger position to say, well, I deserve a bit more of a pay rise, because he's not amongst the highest, okay, he's in the top half for sure, managers in the Premier League.
But as a Manchester United manager, he's not up there with the top pay.
Jose Mourinho was probably earning double what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Brendan Rodgers, I think, is on more than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, at Leicester. So you've got these managers. So he might also think, okay, let's wait till the summer. Let's see where we are there. But it's a fine situation. It's nothing to be concerned about.
Well, Burnley this weekend. Now, they're fighting relegation. I think they're 7 points off relegation with that Fulham, if Fulham got the game in hand. So, are they going to come at us? Is it going to be a comfortable game? How do you see how United are going to approach this game?
Burnley were always, a difficult team to play. Obviously, last season it was 2-0. It was toxic atmosphere in the stands. There's not going to be any of that this time, obviously, with a closed doors game. I think the match against Granada, rotation, so you've got a few players hopefully coming back with a bit more fitness. It should be a United win. Usually, they've gone to Turf Moor previously. They've won, fairly comfortably. I think the way that they played at Spurs shows that they've got the ability to break down a deep defence, with the intricate passing. So I think it should be a Manchester United win. And, as we were saying off air, that would be potentially 8 points behind Man City with 6 games left. And we know that has flipped previously, with a title.
Off air, we were getting giddy coming up to the Burnley game, right? Because we was doing all the permutations. If United beat Burnley, this happens and this happens, we could have a chance. As supporters of United, it's like, here we go, there is a chance. But Burnley, they're a dogged side.
Yeah.
Got to win.
got to win. I think that's the only thing. You know, you look back at the results that United dropped early in the season, Sheffield United, West Brom, and you think, actually, if United had won those games, they could have really put a bit of pressure on City, who have got Champions League fixtures.
Right. Well, let's see what happens with that Burnley game. 3 points are the most important thing, though, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Right. Laurie Whitwell, he'll always come on here, bung him a few quid now and again, you know what I mean? He's happy with that. Been a pleasure. Please subscribe, press the like button, press the notifications, and let's see what happens in the summer with all these incomings and outgoings, eh, Laurie?
Let's see.
3 points, most important thing for Burnley. Laurie, it's been a pleasure.